Eddie Howe the tactical genius, defensive shithousery, and a new reputation as the top six rattlers. It's the final word from the Arsenal game, so stick around. Welcome back to another video on Black and White Banter, you lovely Newcastle fans. If you're new, or if you're not new, if you're one of our amazing subscribers already, do us a favour before this video goes any further and give us one of them. It only takes you a split second, but it goes a very, very long way to getting us in this Newcastle YouTube algorithm. And if you like my opinion, probably don't like my face, but if you like the sound of my voice by the end of this video, drop down and whack that subscribe button. It means a lot. Those subscribers are actually on the up, almost on 1,000. Imagine that. Black White Banter with 1,000 subscribers. Anyway, I've finally recovered from Arsenal. Didn't want to do a video yesterday because I was a walking zombie. Didn't get back in the house till 6 o'clock in the morning off the bus from London. So midweek London game, just to warn anyone who's maybe thinking about it. I know West Ham will be midweek later in the season. It's a tough old slog if you're going to take the supporters bus. It can upset the working week a little bit. But the dust has settled, and here we are, another game unbeaten. And so many positives to take away from that Arsenal game. Now, the first big positive for me, I think, is another, in my opinion, tactical masterclass from Eddie Howe. And all I mean by that is, I think Eddie Howe talked about in his press conference before the Arsenal game that he wanted to go toe-to-toe with them, that setting up defensively from the get-go was not his style. He wanted to try and win football matches and obviously try and take the game to the other team, which is becoming the Eddie Howe way. And we tried it for about 10 minutes and it didn't work. You know, I'm stood in the stands there thinking, my God, the way Arsenal came out, it was attack after attack and it looked like we were going to get absolutely pummeled. And I think Newcastle teams of the past would have probably gone 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-0 down for anything to change tactically. Eddie Howe noticed in that first 10 minutes that if we were going to try and play our normal style, our normal press, our normal attack and intensity, that we were getting overrun very quickly. And he changed tactics so fast. And it was so refreshing to see because, yes, as a fan, refreshing to see at the time, maybe not so. Because, yes, as a fan, when I'm travelling all that way down to London, do I want to see us attack as I'm becoming used to, like the Leicester game where we won 3-0? Of course I do. But I think sometimes, particularly a game when you're playing a team like Arsenal, top of the league, firing on all cylinders, you have to batten down the hatches sometimes. And it wasn't pretty on the eye at times. It's not nice to see us getting, sort of taking them maybe a couple of yards back. But the fact we changed when we did, I think was crucial to us getting a result on Tuesday. I really do. We were, like I say, the first 10 minutes looked a bit of an onslaught. And if that had continued, that sets the tone a little bit. And I think that would have continued and it would have been a bit of a disastrous night. So the fact that Eddie Howe recognised that probably through gritted teeth, reined it in with the boys very, very quickly, and we just changed. And yes, maybe did that first 10 minutes scare the players a little bit and drop them back naturally? Of course, but I still think it was a tactical bit of genius from Eddie Howe. And we're not going to expect, we're not there yet like a Man City. We're nowhere near there yet, like a Man City who are going to attack and really go after teams week in, week out, no matter who the opposition is. That's just not us yet. This is still a project and we are still flowing and improving the squad every window and improving as a football club and a team. I just thought, fair play, Mr. Howe. Honestly, the man can do no wrong. What an incredible manager we have on our hands here. We are witnessing something amazing with him. Next up for me, kind of on the back of that, is just the defensive shithousery that we are literally witnessing. And I don't know, there's probably a lot of Newcastle fans watching this video who've supported Newcastle a lot longer than me. I'm about to turn 31. I've supported Newcastle most of my life. This is without a doubt, as a unit, the best defence I have ever seen. And Tuesday was the biggest test of that. Table toppers, scored in a game every season. They've dropped no points at the Emirates. And what did they create? They had one shot that Pope saved with his legs, a couple of catches from Pope, a couple of penalty claims, which I'm not going to get into. I think we earned our luck a little bit with the Dan Burn shirt pull. But what did Arsenal create? Arsenal have only failed to score in 2 matches in the calendar year. Do you know who those 2 matches were against? Newcastle United and Eddie Howe's Mags. And I just think, if I've said on videos for a long time now that I have full faith in our defence. So when we go away from home, when we play harder teams, it's not the defensive side. I'm not looking at the opposition as like, right, I'm scared of him. It's more, what can we do at the other end of the field against the better teams? And all that performance against Arsenal did was prove it. We made Arsenal, who've been dominating the Premier League this season, look average. And I don't think there's any Arsenal fan in that 90 minutes that would disagree with that. If you'd never watched Arsenal play this season and you rocked up to the Emirates on Tuesday, you'd think, yeah, well, probably lacking a little bit in the attacking areas. And that's because we were so good. Dan Burn, I was worried about a little bit early on against Saka because he got turned a couple of times, grew into the game, literally put his own stamp on the game, the Geordie Giant. Sven Botman, how many times am I going to jump on a video and call Sven Botman the absolute, I don't want to say complete defender because he's certainly not a complete defender at the age he is, but the fact he is looking so, he hasn't even lost a game for Newcastle. He has not been on a losing team. Is that coincidence? Is it shite? But yeah, Tuesday was the toughest test, and that defence came through with absolute, I'm not even going to say flying colours, that doesn't do it justice. I would say, there's no words. There's no words. It's not very often I'm lost for words, and there's no words for what that defence is looking like at the moment. And long that may that continue. As long as we don't have any injuries, touch wood, that defence as a unit is only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Wow. One thing I'm loving at the moment, on to my next point, is how we are turned into the top 6 rattlers. There's so much talk since that game against Arsenal from Mikel Arteta about the way we played, how he didn't like the way we set up, the penalty appeals, which, by the way, that Jacob Murphy handball, if that gets given against him, he's going to be absolutely furious. I think defenders, when they slide now, are expected to slide with the hands behind the back. You know, that conventional way that you slide. So that's never a penalty. Yes, the Dan Burn shirt pull, that looks a penalty to me, and I'm not going to sit here and deny that. I think we've got lucky that wasn't even looked at, but you earn your look a little bit, which is a stupid statement with VAR technology, but I think we did earn our look on that one. But we are rattling teams. Arsenal fans, dead salty. I did a jokey video on social media. If you get black and white banter on there, I had loads of Arsenal fans in the match preview saying we're going to banter you, you stupid dirty oil club, blah, blah, blah. Because we've got a point and we've set up a little bit more defensively, absolutely going mental across social media. That's not the logic of an elite team, blah, blah, blah. We don't claim to be an elite team. We are a team that wants to become an elite team. And we are going to a tabletop and side, and if we're going to set up defensively and get a point, so be it. And yes, am I a hypocrite? A Newcastle fan's hypocrite. We were criticising Leeds for parking the bus on Saturday. Did we do that to a sense on Tuesday? I don't think as much. I think Leeds massively relied on time. I guess we time wasted a little bit against Arsenal, but I don't think it was in the same way. There was still tackling intent there. We still could have scored a couple of times, to be totally honest, with Joe Linton's header in the first half. If that goes in, it's a different game against Arsenal. But yes, of course, there's been a couple of occasions this season when we've been very smart. And this team is turning, and I've already used the term once on this video, not only with the top 6 rattlers, but we are just, there's a bit of shithousery about us that I love. Like Lascelles kicking the ball away twice this season. He's getting 2 yellow cards. He wasn't even on the field. Everyone's pulling in that same direction. And yes, there's a bit of time wasting there. Yes, of course, there's a bit of argy-bargy. But if you look at the games against the top 6 so far, Klopp absolutely furious about our tactics when we lost at Anfield, saying that goal that he scored in the last minute was worthy because we were time wasting so much. Look at Chelsea when it all kicked off at the end when we beat them, and Dan Burn was literally about to knock Havertz's head clean off. We are rattling this top 6 team, and I don't think it's any coincidence that it's us that's annoying them more than any others, because these managers, these fans know that we are going to continue spending money, and they know that we are eventually looking like we may become a threat to them. And it's great, and I'm all for it, and I think Eddie Howe secretly is probably loving it, the players are loving it, and as a fan on social media, I am absolutely loving it. And long may this whole journey continue. We've gone down to the most difficult team in the league, made them look average, come away with a point, and we are literally unbeaten now. I think last time we lost a game, the colour TV was just come out. don't think mobile phones existed. Like, that's how long it feels since Newcastle lost a football match. It's absolutely incredible. And on to the cup games we go. Please, Newcastle fans, I know I did a match vlog. If you haven't watched my Arsenal match vlog, by the way, check down, give it a look. Speak to Arsenal fans on the way to the game, songs and chants in the stadium, drunken predictions in the pub beforehand. Give it a watch. And I am going to Sheffield on Saturday for the cup game, so there's going to be another match vlog coming for that, and obviously a match preview. So if you've stuck around this long, Newcastle fans, whack that subscribe button and give us a one of these. And I want to know what you thought about that Arsenal performance. Where does that leave us as a team? When you watched us play against the best team in the league, what are your thoughts now? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the Sheffield Wednesday, a match preview. And it's just another game unbeaten and on Eddie Howe's Mags go. How are the lads? See you on the next one.